Hello viewers, Marianne from Revealing Light Tarot. How are we all today? Wherever you are in the world when you're watching, a huge shout out to you. Okay, so in light of the news, which we've been predicting for a while, that the Trump organisation will likely be facing charges for tax evasion, maybe even as soon as this week. I wanted to look at Trump in July. We've had a series of things occurring. Of course, his former Attorney General publishing an article in the Atlantic, or agreeing to an interview in the Atlantic, where he basically said Trump's big lie was BS. So the reason that Barr is flipping now is because he has skeletons in his closet. He's attempting to distance himself from Trump. You know, I did another reading this morning, and I really got the image of the vultures not too far off in the distance now. And I feel that Barr had some advanced knowledge through his own networks that the organisation would face charges. Now, here is the thing. There is more to this than what we will first see. So these charges for tax evasion against the organisation may come forward. It is a game of chess for the prosecutors in order to get Weiselberg to flip and others to flip. Then, of course, they bring forward more evidence. This is just the tip of the iceberg at the moment, but it does signal the downfall of Trump, literally. And those vultures are getting closer and closer to him. He knows it. He's feeling trapped himself. He's incredibly anxious about it. At the moment, I think he's still trying to protect his adult children, his offspring. But for how long, I don't know. But he feels like he's got nowhere to move. Ultimately, the end game for prosecutors, and I go to SDNY as well, and this is where Barr might come unstuck, that he tried to put roadblocks in front of that investigation. There is foreign influence and foreign monies attracted, or attached, I should say, to the SDNY investigation. And so that is a critical key federal investigation to watch in terms of Trump. But getting back to the state investigation, the Cy Vance Manhattan District Attorney's grand jury, grand investigation. He has his tax returns. There are going to be charges for the Trump organisation, and ultimately down the track there will be charges for Trump and his children. They are the managing directors, and it is a question of getting the financial officers to corroborate evidence that Trump was involved in decision making. So again, they need those chief financial, Weiselberg and others, to flip. I think they've already got some of that corroborating evidence, but this is just, as I said, this is just the start. Now, in the meantime, Trump had a rally in Ohio, and there was footage of his supporters, some of his supporters leaving the arena because they were disinterested in the same old message and talking points that Trump continually sprouts. This is a man who was defeated. There's also more evidence emerging about his part in the insurrection. Now, one thing that has come forward, which I think is really significant in that January the 6th insurrection, Proud Boys, Oath Keepers, planning, Roger Stone, Flynn, InfoWars, they were all involved in that pre-planning of that riot at the Capitol, or insurrection at the Capitol. Trump and his close advisors knew that this could get violent. Now, there is a feed on Twitter from Seth Abramson, which lays out the evidence, the proof. One of the things that struck me in that entire feed was that when Trump addressed that rally, he already knew that his Secret Service said it was impossible, not possible, for him to go and walk with those people to the Capitol. They already said you can't do it. You can't walk with them. It's not feasible. But yet he got up onto that podium and said, and I will be walking to the Capitol. Yeah, the ultimate sellout, isn't it? Getting others to do his dirty work. So justice is at Trump's literally doorstep. The vultures are circling. This is the end of the Trump organization, I feel. It will eventually be closed down. The one thing that Trump is worried about, and I got this very, very strongly, is that those loans will be called in. He's worried that about financial ruin. What is left to come is proof of Trump's indebtedness or connection with the Russian oligarchs and Putin, financial connection. And then we start to get into the spy in the camp territory. There is so much more to emerge. The Republicans, they're starting to, it's like the Titanic, they literally are. Once his power starts to completely dissolve with the Republican Party, you'll see them, as the cowards that they are, coming forward and distancing themselves from this man. Mitt Romney today, one of the few that stood up to him, said that Ohio rally, it's just like a World Championship Wrestling show. It's entertaining, but it's not real. QAnon supporters decried his Ohio rally as being boring and nothing new. So, yeah, we're seeing things really, really turning. We knew they would. It's actually happening now. So something has come out, and that's full moon in new moon in Capricorn. Was it a full moon or a new moon in Capricorn recently? Your hard work is paying off. These charges with Trump are a culmination of all of this hard work to get the truth out. All right, so let's see what the overarching energies for this week is. What is the it's like okay, what is the overarching energies for this week ahead? Take time to breathe out. Yeah, I think everybody's going to face a sense of release. This is emotional release as well. It is relief from anxiety and worry. It's like a turning point. Believe in the impossible, blue moon. A lot of throat healing kind of energy, a lot of communication. The way that we inner talk to ourselves, the way that the worry turns over and over. There is a relief this week coming as a result, I think, of what is going to emerge about Trump. And we're going to be working through our fears. This is a new moon in Scorpio, working through our fears. So by the end of this year, luck is on your side. New moon in Sagittarius. This is the way the cards are working for me. I say something and then I make a pull on the card, and it is sort of like real time. By the end of the year, by the time we end up in Scorpio and Sagittarius seasons, we will have moved through a lot of our fear and moving into that more positive iteration of things. Now, I haven't done a Trump in July since December. The reason that I don't do them anymore is to move away from so much focus on Trump. However, this month is different. This month will bring forward these charges, and we are moving into the final phase of his downfall from power. I think he is regretting, I think you'll agree with me, I know others have agreed, that he probably will rue the day that he ever stood for the presidency. But again, that image of Icarus's son that I had last year, that his hubris and pride took him to heights that a downfall, a plummet, was inevitable. Communication is the key. The way we communicate with others and inner communication is going to be very important going forward. This is, in a way, what that Aquarius energy is all about. Okay, let's look at week by week. Trump in July. Ooh, there are my cards. So that was the new moon oracle, or the moon Moonology Oracle. And I'm now going to move into the Tarot Grand Deluxe for the base cards and a simple mini Rider-Waite for clarification. I am going to bring the laptop down so you can see the cards. Okay, 4 weeks. The month of July, Trump in July. What's happening for Trump in July? Show me Trump in July, week by week. I need to get my calendar out so we can be sure and tick off the weeks. Let's go back to that, the way we used to do things. So we've got this current week that we're in, but then we move to week beginning the 5th, week beginning the 12th, week beginning the 19th, week beginning the 26th. So we'll include this week. So we'll pull 5 cards. Trump in July. Trump in July. Trump in July. What's happening for Trump in July? 5 cards, please. This week and 4 subsequent weeks. What's happening for Trump in July? Yeah, I'm getting an upturned sword. It's sort of in front of the throne. It's almost like the truth is driven into the ground. It's unshakable. So this week we've got the 9 of Wands. This is a card that keeps coming out for Trump, and he is feeling like he's lost the war. I do go to Bill Barr saying that in the meeting with Trump, just after the election, he looked like a madman. We see this disheveled appearance. The 9 comes before the 10 of Wands. Things are going to get very hard for Trump. So that's this week. Let's have a look at week beginning the 5th. We've got the Ace of Coins. I think this is the week that the charges will become deeper knowledge. So even though they might break toward the end of this week, we move into the beginning of next week with a real focus on what sort of evasion the Trump organization has done. He's worried about his money in that second week. By the third week, we've got the 4 of Swords. Week beginning the 12th. This is retreat. And could even signify illness, downfall, mortally wounded in battle. So this week, not good cards. He's looking for help at the beginning of next week. He's looking for allies. By the time we get to the 12th, he is, though, wounded in battle. The 19th is the 10 of Cups. He might start to worry about his family by the time we get to the 19th. And the 26th is the 5 of Coins. We start to have real trouble. He has real trouble with his finances, with his businesses. This is when he starts to realise that the Trump organisation will eventually be closed. We might have lending organisations signalling pulling away from him. So we have the Queen of Cups here, Revelations. Again, she comes forward. There's still more to come. And one more card for the first week in August. He's really trying to stop from plummeting there by the time we reach August. So let's take a look at this week. A little bit of clarification, the 9 of Wands. So he's not going to suddenly go to prison this month, but he's going to have to work through all of this. So now he's feeling embattled. He's feeling weary. He lost the election. People are starting to pull away from him. People he used to be able to count on can't anymore. So the 9 of Wands, feeling weary, battle weary. Show me what this means. Okay, so we have the Queen of Pentacles. His focus is on the money coming in and whether he's got enough. Victory, this could be on trying to again plug those gaps with campaign rallies, but it's just not going to be successful. He's not the draw card that he once was. At the base of the pack, we have the 8 of Pentacles. So he's focused on his money and peddling these illusions and delusions. But guess what? this downfall here indicates an ending of the cycle. So, one more card, Eight of Wands, the charges. So the charges could come, I think, by the end of this week, certainly by the beginning of next. Let's have a look at this Ace of Coins. I'm pretty interested in this card because I feel there's an element. Yes, we'll know what the situation is, but I also feel he's trying to look for new money in some way, a new start. What is this? What is this Ace of Coins? He's wanting a new start in some way. So I keep getting him in bed. I do get an image of Ivanka as well. What's going on here? Now, we know she gave false evidence at a deposition into the inauguration. So what's going on here in the money trail? Show me this ace, please. So we get here the Two of Wands. So a plan. He's trying to put into place a plan that will come to fruition around his finances. It could even be to stop the truth coming forward. But we've got a victory for the truth. This Victor card keeps coming up. And we know it's a benign energy with that King of Cups. Again, I think that SDNY investigation is really important as well. Yeah, so much coming forward. I think these charges will come forward. If not the end of this week, then the beginning of next week. That's what we're going to learn. We're going to learn about the dirt next week. Week beginning the 5th. Okay, let's have a look at the 12th here. Grievously wounded. So this is the way it's going to play out. I feel that we're going to get information on his finances next week. He's battle weary now. There's nothing much he can do to stop this. But by the week of the 12th, he's in retreat. He's been mortally wounded, which leads me to think that we'll get that information at the beginning of next week. So what's this Four of Swords? Show me this Four of Swords. Been in battle, lost the battle, mortally wounded. Okay. So we've got the Chariot, things coming at him so quickly that he can't stop. He can't stop it. We've got the Fool card. Again, new starts, the ending of this cycle of Trump. It's going to go quicker than what you think. The High Priestess, things coming, secrets, things coming out. And we've got the Three of Cups, who he was involved with, who he had partnerships with. So that second week, we're looking at information coming out. I think a lot of information is going to come out about who he was involved with. Okay, let's take a look at week beginning the 19th, the Ten of Cups. Ten of Cups. What's going on here? Family. Worried about his family. I just get a pull to Jared and Ivanka. Won't surprise me if they're the two that flip. Okay, so 19th. Show me what is this third week in July. Week beginning the 19th. Ten of Cups. Show me the Ten of Cups. Okay, so we have the Page of Wands. Movement forward. People are going to automatically think he's going to leave the country, but we've just got this truth emerging, and here we have just regret dwelling on. This is sadness, beaten. He's beaten because the truth is coming out about his finances, and this is when you can look to these coward Republicans to start. The vultures have left the mountain range and they're circling now for him and his family. Last card, the 26th, we've got the Five of Coins, money loss, left out in the cold. Oh, it's going to be an interesting month. Show me week beginning the 26th, week beginning the 26th. Okay. So we have the Nine of Swords, extremely worried about his money, extremely worried about his business. This is the courts, and we've got the Queen of Cups, the lid being lifted on this, and we've got investigations and isolation. So Jupiter, the Wheel of Fortune, and the moving out of troubled waters. So toward the end of the month, we've got, these are our universal cards. They came up in another reading. They're signifying that we are over the worst of it. But he is very isolated. We've got the devil energy. What are we moving out of? The devil energy. And we have him beaten. So for those that were wondering if justice was coming, yes, it is. And this is just the tip of the iceberg, I feel. Okay, so let's ask, will the Trump organisation be shut down? So I think some of those lenders are going to try and call things in. Will the Trump organisation be shut? Will the Trump organisation be shut down? Will the Trump organisation be shut down? I just keep getting that 9 of Wands. 3, there's his 3 children. And we've got something being set up for them in some way. This is what these cards meant when they came out before. 333, also hiding money. But we've got the 10 of Wands. So it's going to be very difficult for him, for that organisation to restart, although he's trying to work out a way as to how this might happen. Yeah, Page of Pentacles. It's all about his children here. But we've got them being caught up in all of this. Will the Trump organisation shut? We've got something going to come out, I think, about his children that's going to surprise us, and it could be around his daughter. That's what I'm feeling, because I saw her in that image of him. She will try and save herself and her family. Okay, I'm going to leave that there. Just a short reading. Trump in July. As I said, I haven't done one of these since December, deliberately to try and expand our repertoire, expand our files, look at overseas issues, look at expanded political focus themes, as well as esoteric, as well as environmental themes. But July is really the critical month from the 4 years. This month is really critical in terms of Trump and justice. So I hope you enjoyed that reading. By the way, thank you all for your concern about the Delta variant in Australia. People said, why haven't you got enough vaccinations? We do have a lot of AstraZeneca. But at the beginning, Pfizer offered our Prime Minister 40 million doses, which would have been enough for most of our population, our entire population. And this government put all its eggs in the AstraZeneca basket because it was cheaper, because it could be readily transported, and because it could be manufactured on our shores at CSL. What happened then was the blood clotting issue arose, and so we couldn't give it to people under 40. Then we couldn't give it to people under 50 because they kept getting blood clots. Then we couldn't give it to people under 60 because they got blood clots. And our equivalent of the FDA decided that it wasn't in our interest to give AstraZeneca to anyone under 60. That's why we haven't got any vaccinations, because we don't have enough Pfizer. We have to wait for Pfizer now. Everybody wants Pfizer or Moderna. They can't get them. Nobody wants AstraZeneca to take that risk. And the poor old over 60s, first of all, the over 50s, which was me. I've had one shot of AstraZeneca. Now they say we shouldn't have AstraZeneca. But anyone who's had their first shot can get their second shot if you didn't get an ill effect from it. So I will have my second shot of AstraZeneca. The risk of a blood clot on the second shot is very small. But that's why Australia's population isn't vaccinated. And it was just the wrong decision made by the government at the time. Absolutely wrong. Pfizer offered us 40 million doses. They should have spread their risk, spread their vaccination choice over many instead of just the one Very, very foolhardy. I don't know who did that risk assessment, but you know, it has ultimately ended in lockdowns now. So I don't have Delta variant here in where I am, and I'm quite safe. I've also had one shot of AstraZeneca, so I have some antibodies. So thank you all for your concern. We will get this under control, but it is going to take lockdowns now because that Delta variant is extremely dangerous. It's extremely infectious and dangerous. So anyone who hasn't been vaccinated needs to. I'm not an anti-vaxxer. I'm also very measured in terms of what I put into my body. But we had some anecdotal evidence come forward that there was a party of 30 at one of the suburbs in Sydney. 24 people tested positive after that party for COVID. 6 people tested negative. Out of those 6, out of that equation, 24 were unvaccinated, 6 were vaccinated, and they tested negative. So vaccines work for this particular variety as well of COVID. Anyway, I'm okay. Thank you for your concern. We now have more Pfizer coming. We'll be here around August, September, October. They hope to phase out AstraZeneca by the end of the year. They've now said anyone who wants AstraZeneca, regardless of their age, can sign a waiver form and have it. So people will choose to have, young people will choose to have it. The risk of the blood clotting is still there. So again, some really big failures on the part of our government. All right. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. Have a great week. Bye for now.